Welcome back to another rebuild here on Madden 24, and today we're going to be taking on the Washington Commanders, another team that's definitely flying under the radar. They've been one of the top 5, top 10 at worst defenses in the league for the last about 5 seasons now, but the offense just can't seem to become a cohesive unit, or whatever word I just said, coercive. The quarterback position has definitely been up and down. Sam Howell, I believe, is named the starter, if I'm not mistaken. In Madden, he's actually really freaking good. He's got good strength, very good accuracy, and of course he's young. Paranoid sense of pressure, which isn't great, but don't know a whole lot about Sam Howell because obviously he didn't really get much of a chance to play. And then running back, a guy like Brian Robinson is basically proof of why you don't pay running backs after their rookie deal's up, and in general, don't usually take them that high. Now, it's not necessarily where he was picked because, late third, technically early fourth. That's not late, but it's kind of where I would take a running back, late third in the 4th round-ish. But in general, it seems like he's another one of those guys that you could say he's a top 15 back. It's like 90% of the league is a top 15 back, which makes no sense because that's not how it works. But it just seems easy to find a guy. At one point, Antonio Gibson seemed to be the guy. So it's just they're so interchangeable, and it sucks. But that's just that's just part of life, man. You're still making millions, so I'm not gonna lose sleep over their issues, but it would be cool to see some sort of situation work out because at the same time, it is a super fun to watch position. And if people don't want to play it anymore because they're like, I'm taking a bunch of punishment, the career is not long lasting, the money's not even there anymore, we could see a real decline in the sport itself, which obviously we want the Saquons, we want the Bijans, we want the guys that make the crazy highlight plays. I know it's a little crazy to say Bijan already, but those are some of the guys that I would expect to be like some of the most dynamic running backs in the league right now that can, do it all. But then we look at the receivers, which there definitely are some talents here. We almost kind of forget about Dyami Brown because there's actually a lot of talent in front of him. Terry McLaurin is still one of the best receivers in the league. Jahan Dotson showed up pretty nicely last season. We'll see what happens on a full season, and with maybe good quarterback play. We'll see. O-line is definitely not the best. Sam Cosmi, I don't know if he just made the switch to guard this season or if that was a last season thing, but I thought he was tackle last year. Charles Leno has always been a very solid lineman all the way since he was a Bears player. Stromberg playing left guard because they have Nick Gates at center, who I was under the impression was decent. I think the only thing I really remember is him going against Aaron Donald and getting his trachea attacked because Aaron Donald is actually a very dirty player that nobody ever seems to mention. And then Cole Turner, a guy that has an insane frame, and that's who I would start at tight end. Logan Thomas has actually been a decent little quarterback to tight end position switch, but at the same time, I want someone a little bit younger. And then say defense. DBs are actually really good here. Forbes is a great pick. I will say, am I missing something here? I feel like I'm looking at like Beetlejuice or what's his name? Was it Johnny Knoxville from Men in Black? I can't remember whose head shrunk. No, it wasn't. He had the little head behind him. But does that not look really strange? Is that intended? Look at the bigger players. Like Chase Young's a bigger dude. Jonathan Allen's a bigger dude. Daron Payne is a bigger dude. Their heads are proportionate. Am I missing something? Did they not have like a picture for him? So they took a picture and they photoshopped it on? Wait, I'm so confused. Either way, enough of that. Cornerbacks could be great. DBs, like I said, in general, pretty good. They got great depth at safety. Linebackers, definitely a problem. Cody Barton's the new addition. Jamin Davis hasn't quite shown his value just yet. D-line, this is one of the teams that you were kind of thinking was a top 5, top 3 D-line for some time. And then, of course, the injury to Chase Young happened. Inconsistencies from Daron Payne and Montez Sweat. Obviously, Payne just got paid big time for his run-stop abilities, and then obviously Jonathan Allen's a freak. But Chase Young, the question marks are still there. The injury, the just lack of playing in general, and lack of production, had him on the trade block, and no one seems to have bit. I really think the Bears maybe should have taken that chance. They have the draft capital, unless Washington's like, we need a first and a third or something ridiculous, which, I don't know. They're kind of locked in, soon with having to pay one of these guys. Sweat and Chase Young, the money, if they want to keep them both, is going to be up there. So maybe get something while you can. We're going to see what we can do to maneuver around that in this rebuild. Obviously, we have a young quarterback in Sam Howell, which definitely helps. But, that's basically a team. It's a team that's really good on defense. One of the lowest points per game allowers. The yards for both sides, of the game, passing and run defending. Very good stuff. Passing on offense is definitely just the big thing that's holding them back right now. They're a very good run team as well. It's just they need a quarterback, which is why you see teams like, the Jets trading for an Aaron Rodgers. Commanders get Aaron Rodgers, they might be favorites to win the whole thing. They really would, but obviously Green Bay trading interconference would be really stupid. But at the same time, it is a pretty tough division. I know the Jets division is not easy either, and that conference is tough, but the NFC East is a division that's going to have some people coming out of there. Some teams are going to be in the playoffs in there. It's not going to just be one or two. It might be the whole damn division. Also, if you're new to the channel, maybe think about subscribing. We do a ton of franchise stuff, usually about 2 rebuilds a week, many franchise episodes, and even franchise experiments. One of the ones that's doing pretty well on my channel right now is the Michael Vick Superstar mode creation. I might do a couple more of those. I didn't do the Adrian Peterson one in there, even though it would have gotten more views, just because I didn't want an 81 speed running back. So I sacrificed the views for a more fun experience. And boy, does it look like I made a mistake. But yeah, maybe leave a like as well. Obviously, you can take away the like if you don't actually enjoy the video. Maybe dislike it if you don't. And then, of course, appreciate every single one of you guys that is already subscribed. Or even, if you've just been watching the channel for the while and you haven't subscribed yet or you don't want to, whatever it is, appreciate the support. And 2 things. I would love for you to comment which team you'd like to see next for rebuilds. And then the other thing would be, do you think the Commanders are going to change their team name, and what name should they change to? Now, I know I am absolutely setting myself up for some potential, vulgarity, but try to keep it at... Wow, we are getting destroyed, by the way. Try to keep it as PG and respectful as possible. And I know, coming from me, that's a big ass. That's like... I said ask, by the way, not ass. Maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree. Little hypocritical moment, but let's get into what appears to be a massive disaster so far. So I'm really wondering how broke we're going to be, because we have a really high draft pick. So if we can avoid re-signing someone that's really expensive that we can replace in the draft, I will prefer to do that. Montez Sweat, I could have sworn I saw something like Montez Sweat got like a 3 or 40 or something. Maybe, I don't know who I'm thinking of. Maybe it wasn't him. No, he doesn't have a contract, so there's that. Oh, what the hell am I doing? Got to pay attention to how good they're playing, though. Like, it's so hard in Madden to let a guy like Chase Young go. So, I mean, he could be playing like the worst player of all time, and I might have to re-sign him. And let me tell you, he's trying to take that title. 2 sacks! Yo! How bad is he? But, like, at the same time, we've been over this. Like, Sweat's playing better, ironically enough. But, like, I can't just replace him because he's playing badly and then draft a guy that's going to end up playing just as bad anyways, but he doesn't have the overall. 5th-year option for Jamin Davis, only $6 million? Okay. That's interesting. I feel like that's going to raise, but... Like, do I really just not re-sign Chase? I don't even know. Let's go Cameron Curl. Just under $10 million per year, so let's actually not do the 5-year. Normally I try to do a longer deal, but like, $10 million-ish per year for a safety is pretty significant, and safety's not the hardest position in the draft. We already kind of have one that's like ready to start anytime, so I think it's smart to go 4 years, maybe even debatably just let him go, but that ship has sailed. Sweat is playing pretty well. I'm going to do a 2-year, like, probably 29, to be honest. Even that might not be enough, and it is. 14.5 per. And then Chase Young, I kind of feel like I would give him a tag, which is probably about almost 30 mil anyways, so I might as well do the 3-year 60, save, tons of money. But it is still an expensive contract. Cody Barton, I believe, was a 1-year deal. I think we can do better, though. But if he does get a dev up, maybe we'll re-sign him. But as of right now, he's not on my priority list. And then Joey Sly, he's a little iffy at times, but it's not easy to get a guy with his kick power, so that's, the guy we're going to re-sign. But yeah, don't know what the future re-signings are like, but not terrible, right? We got the whole D-line paid, and we still got like a young quarterback, and we have 43 mil, so we're okay. And like a smart team with their playoffs already gone, they went on a little bit of a winning streak, but thankfully lost to the Cowboys, and finishing the season out 5-12, which is obviously far from, perfect. Not a great season at all. I don't know. The Commanders kind of do, show up out of nowhere. Maybe they sign one of the good quarterbacks, like Joe Burrow falls into free agency every once in a while. I don't actually follow where he or the other good quarterbacks go. But maybe that's what happens, because I've seen the Commanders in the Super Bowl a few times. But with a season start like this, I don't see how. I really don't. So, I mean, unless Howell had a good season and we just found a way to lose and he's going to get a dev up or something, I don't really know how. Like, that's really bad. That's like, it is not common you're going to see more interceptions than touchdowns in a Madden sim. I mean, I think we've just talked ourselves into a quarterback, no? Brian Robinson just under 1,000 yards by 1, but yards per carry were very bad. McLaurin was solid, Dotson was solid, Samuel was okay, tight end was terrible. Blocking was pretty good for Madden's concerns. I mean, the whole D-line was really bad. Chase Young with 3. I mean, obviously Sweat was great, but, you know, I can't even blame Chase Young. Jonathan Allen had 2.5 sacks, and our run stopper had 8. I mean, does EA even, like, know anything about, like how you get to a quarterback? Like, they just assume Blockshed does it? I don't really know. I don't know, but 30th offense, defense couldn't have been much better. Jalen Hurts wins MVP, almost had a chance at it last year. Looking at any award wins we might have had, probably none, but maybe. And no, so this could be, other than maybe Sweat going up in dev, a very wasteful season, as other than a good draft pick, which I'm trying to think if Commanders still have theirs, I would imagine they do. You know, we really didn't get much progress from this season. You know, Howell looks like he needs to be replaced. Raiders versus Cowboys. And the winner of this one is the Raiders. So, thankfully the Cowboys didn't make that recent Cowboys rebuild I did pretty dumb looking. Still probably does anyways, because we started Trey Lance over Dak Prescott. All right, let's see the dev-ups. Maybe Jahan Dotson. Perhaps. Maybe. But probably not on offense. And that is the case. Defensively, though, should see at least one. And why? Why? Excuse me? Hello? What did bro do? What did he actually do to deserve a dev up? Not even just any dev up. Not normal to star to superstar, but superstar to X Factor. What do you mean? They're like, he played a full season without getting injured. X Factor. That's really hard. Sweat goes him in dev, though. I mean, I would actually say that Payne should have got the dev up, but it would kind of be super cheating if Chase Young went from X Factor to Superstar and then I gave it to Payne. But it really should be that way. Oh, Derek Force actually went up in dev as well. I know Kaliki Hudson did, but at the end of the day, he's probably not got much of a future on the team. But Derek Forrest, one of the kind of sneaky steals for a fantasy draft, because obviously he's a very high overall young player, but he's on normal dev, which drops his value quite a bit. But very athletic and nice little dev up. We'll take it. But we actually got a couple of dev ups for the defense, though, which is, ironically enough, the part we don't really need to work on. But yeah, quarterback's likely if there's a decent one, and tight end is definitely a must. The division went crazy, though. The Cowboys and Eagles combined for 29 and was that 7? Something ridiculous like that. Jamin Davis needs a 5th-year option. 9.3 mil is actually pretty cheap. Outside linebackers can get pretty costly because the game thinks that every outside linebacker is a pass rusher when they're not. I think we can do better than Cody Barton. We will probably need even Kaliki Hudson. He's just a little bit too old in Madden. We probably will need to go high for a quarterback, though. So I don't know how much, draft capital we're really going to have for the rest of this, for the rest of the draft outside of the quarterback, assuming we take one, because I don't know what the group looks like. But might need some trade downs, maybe even like a couple of free agent pickups to supplement some of our losses here, as we're losing some linebackers. And the O-line in general definitely needs to be picked up a little bit. Could use 2, maybe 3 starters. D-line's great, obviously. Linebacker, once again, the biggest problem. And then quarterback. I mean, if we get a good quarterback, that alone could solve everything. So hopefully there is a good one. You can see there's one there, but rank 2, 6 total. So that's 2 good quarterbacks in the top 6, which, fair enough. Maybe one of them is the guy. 5 and 12 should put us in the top 6 as well, speaking of. So could need a trade up, but we'll kind of manage that. Hopefully there's a team at like 1 or 2 that doesn't need a QB. Running back is the big thing in free agency right now. Linebacker Bobby Wagner actually wouldn't be a bad idea, especially when we're trying to coach up some players. But then you also see Jordan Brooks go from one Seahawks linebacker to another. Although Devin White is probably better because Jordan Brooks might have a little bit of block shed on him, but he is really bad in coverage. I mean, that is, like, unusably bad if I was actually, like, trying to user one of these guys. Like, well, I guess if I was using him, I wouldn't want that. Prefer the block shed, but if I was going to use them and, you know, like, let them roam around, Devin White is a little bit of a risk, especially asking for, what, is this a 4-year deal? I mean, it would set our position up nicely and wouldn't really need to replace him because that is a pretty lengthy contract. The Vikings are not really a rival, but they're in the same conference. I think I leave that on there for that price and maybe even go for Bobby Wagner. Don't think we need to keep Bobby Wagner around for like a billion years, but 1-year contract wouldn't kill us. And it would obviously give us a very good player who also is a mentor. All right, so Devin White, I almost called him Devin Bush, actually joined on that 4-year 32, which is great. Lowball offers for Terrence Steele. We're not the only team trying it either. I mean, a 2-year 20 is not like crazy low, but when he's asking for more than that, obviously it is. But to offer a slight bit more, I don't think that's really going to change much. But a little surprised that Bobby Wagner isn't joining us. Like we're giving him expected value, and we do get him. We're still the highest on Terrence Steele, so we might still get him as well. And we get all three. That's a pretty good steal for Terrence Steele. Lol, he's so funny, dude. He's just so hilarious. But that was actually a pretty good haul. Upgraded our linebacker position and our offensive line position. And yeah, I mean, some of the positions it cost us a little bit, but we're not locked in long-term on any of them but Devin White, which is still lower than expected. Was it like $8 million per? Actually, lower than 8. No, it actually is 8, isn't it? I don't know. Math is hard. Who cares? All right, let's go to the draft. There's actually some pretty decent players here across both sides of the field, or both sides of the ball. Tight end's not great, but there's at least one solid-looking player. Wow, we're all the way at number 7. One solid-looking player, and then a very, high potential, couple of other guys that are day 3s. Don't think QB will go high, but you just don't know. I don't really want to trade for, like, one of the other guys. Please, Niners, don't take someone. You got Purdy. Please. There we go. Juwan Johnson, the tight end from the Saints. Bears, don't do it. You don't need QB either. Chargers, you don't need QB. The Bears don't need QB with their other pick. We're going to have a choice of who we want, I think. Miami could. I don't know if Tua's looking all right. Obviously, there's a chance that some team would trade up, but I'm just playing it by ear at this point. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Not a whole lot of quarterback needy teams at the top, which is very rare, so we actually don't know what the board would actually look like. But yeah, I think Middleton's better because both these guys aren't athletic and both these guys don't have the greatest of throw strength, if I'm not mistaken. Oh my lord, it's so slow. I actually double-clicked. Great throw power. Actually, he does have great, so maybe it is the greatest, literally. And then the other guy, Carter Middleton, very similar, interchangeable key ratings, and then elite throw power. So I think Carter Middleton is my guy. He has the higher talent round, and he is in development traits. So we've got our new starting quarterback. He also looks pretty cool. Like, he actually looks sick. Wait, was that his hairline? Was it receded all the way back? My man's struggling. Like, we ain't going to be making fun of receding hairlines, but why even keep it at that rate? Like, at that rate, you might as well. You might as well just get rid of it. Unless I didn't think what I seen when I saw what I thought. Something like that. But yeah, a bunch of like 2 to 3s, a couple of 1 to 2s. Kemp would be a great cornerback. But we don't need to replace Fuller just yet, so I could easily wait for like a Benjamin Stanley, who's a 3 to 4 with an A man coverage, A press, who might be decent. He's probably going to be like a special type of player where he's not going to be like some super high dev or super high overall, but he'll have, intangible ratings that are, worth it. But we're going to go to number 7. If Kemp is there somehow, though, he is absolutely mine, even though corner's not even that high on my list. But Mark Edmond probably is going to be the tight end I want, so start of the 3rd is where I'm going to be looking to take him. Any other player, though? Some linemen we definitely could use at least 1 or 2. Where's the corners? A couple of okay corners. Stanley still is probably the guy that I would look at. So at this point, I think this is a trade down. We're going to try anything we can. If there's a team that has a late 2nd and an early 3rd in the same round, that'd be great. Like if Green Bay was a little bit later, that's who I would go for. But it's probably going to be a manual trade because the auto trade finder that they give you, it's been pretty bad actually. They've been giving you really bad value lately. You being just us in general, but a 2nd and a 4th undefined next year for a 7th overall 2nd round pick. Why would anyone take that? Even if you could guarantee that's the first pick in each round, it's still is it even fair value because you have to wait a year? That's ridiculous. This one's pretty bad, too, because you have to wait all the way to 2026 to get your third. This one's okay, I guess, but it's not great either. This is more like what I'm looking at. So the Seahawks are like worst case scenario for me. But if I can really try to get a late third or early third, or like maybe 2 early thirds, that'd be great. But I think Seattle probably will be the trade we end up settling on. But let's try one anyway, see if we can get something. So we got a little crazy with it. We end up getting a lot of third-round picks. 3 very high third-round picks from the Cardinals for our early second, a third round next year, a 6th, 7th, and a 6th. Of course, the Cardinals in a really big rebuild spot right now. It'd be very iffy for them to make that play, but you know what? It's not my job to decide which team should or shouldn't be trading. If they take the trade, I'm going to take it. They wanted safety to replace Budda Baker potentially. That's their decision, not mine. And with our newfound wealth, we shall go on a run of taking many players, starting probably with that tight end, assuming he is there. But at the same time, I don't want to pass up on other talents as well. Tight end is a huge need for us, though. DeColdis Clark. That is sick. His name is insane. Stanley's obviously on the list, probably. Sapp, we don't even need safety. I'm not even sure why I scouted it. Don't know why I just thought we needed one. But Edmund, he's not the fastest in the world, but decent key ratings, and he's fast enough. So that's going to be our choice. Starting tight end no matter what the dev is, because we're so desperate. And it's definitely helpful to make that choice when he is actually hidden. Can you really pass on DeColdis Clark, though? Ronnie Westbrook goes, thinking about getting Stanley and being a perfect number 3. We have any other extra cornerback depth, we can trade that off for, draft picks or something for next year. Man, I love how fast that is. It's so freaking awesome. But looking at O-line, definitely a need. That tackle, I think Richard McDonald looks the best, but at the same time, he's expected to go a bit later. Do I really need the DT? I could use the corner more than any of those other guys, so I'm going to go with the corner just because of that A-man and that A-press. Iffy other ratings, I will admit, not the fastest, but A-man and A-press with how good cornerback classes are means he must be very good in those ratings, so I'm going to take the chance. He is normal, but that's not the end-all, be-all, so we will have to see if he actually was anything decent. Washington, you could probably trade down for McDonald, though. I might actually trade this down. I actually don't hate this trade. The Falcons are going to give me 85, and I'll get a 5th round out of it. And I'm going to trade down again, actually. There's so many players at each of the positions I need. Linebacker I could kind of use. There's 4 of them. O-line, there's 6 of them. So unless they just go back to back to back to back to back, we might still be able to pick up some draft picks and take those guys later, and it'll be easier for me to decide on who I want, because we'll be kind of stuck. I don't really like that Buccaneers trade, but at the same time, I want some sort of value on a trade down, so that might end up being what we do. Take the Patriots trade. It's super mid, but it's not that crazy back of a trade anyways, and we're going to slow send to make sure we don't get completely screwed. This is probably a lineman. It's a safety. And at 18, I'm going to take a decently strong, okay athleticism, decent key rating, J.C. Platt, good pass block, okay run block, and an L of a player. This is why I like to let the AI go first, because I at least am getting draft picks while being forced into a pick, whereas there I just took a guy in front of other players and it didn't work out. A lot of linebackers just went too, so I might actually trade up, and then when we're down to the last lineman, just trade up and get one. I kind of need 2, though. Might go for 2 linemen, might get a little greedy. Linebackers, there's 2 good ones, I suppose. Actually, Keenan looks pretty good. I might actually go Keenan, especially if he's 21, which he's 22. Let's take a look at the other guy, see if he's 21. If he's 21, I'm going for the youth because they're both pretty similar. One does something better than the other in theory. They're both 22, so I'm going for the block shed guy. Both A to C's, you just don't know which zone coverage is going to be what, and Keenan at least has a B block shed, which is actually pretty insane, considering he's A to C zone anyways. Grabbing Mr. Jason Keenan, who is hidden. Not the most athletic, but athletic enough, obviously. All right, so we will need to trade up. I might actually trade up for both guys because the lineman we took was not hidden, so I might go for Hoven and McDonald. Traded a 4th and a 5th for the Bills' 3rd-round pick. That's, really not a bad trade for us at all. And I'm going to go for back-to-back with the Lions in a trade-up. I don't know what that's going to cost us, but it sure as hell ain't going to cost us something that's not worth it. I assume, at least, because, once again, we could draft another 2 linemen that are normal, which would be one of my worst streaks I've had in a while, because O-line ever since like the last 2 Maddens, this and that and last, have been kind of easy to draft. Before then, it was literally impossible to grab a hidden, and now it's maybe debatably too easy. We trade these picks for the very next pick after the one we just traded for. So a little thin, and next year's getting a little thinner. But we should have 2 linemen here. Hopefully one of them at least is hidden. Maybe get some starters in here. Obviously the guy we just took, maybe he was actually decent, but just normal dev, usable. But we are going to go for Hoven and McDonald. Mr. Hoven, 6'7". We love it, but the run block is terrible. And Buddy is hidden. Not the strongest, but we don't care about the strength too much anymore. Used to. Now I don't. I just care that they're hidden, and he is that. 7th round. I'm not actually sure what we're going to do. Maybe, I don't know. Special teamer, fullback. Team actually has pretty good kick power guys already. And can I get to my thing? I was about to say, they didn't all just go, did they? But Richard McDonald, the guy I was kind of eyeing up the most, but he was day 3, so we waited. And he's potentially our new center. Please be hidden. Center, I said. Holy crap. And he is hidden. Strongest of the bunch, too, which is kind of, well, maybe not of the bunch, but stronger than the last guy, and he's 5 inches shorter. Put some freaking bulk on that frame, dud. Alright, apparently our available salary is next to nothing. I don't know if that's glitched, but we had like 20 mil before the draft. Actually, that probably does make sense for how much we spent in free agency. We also did draft a ton of players. Our quarterback is 76. Our tight end 72. Corner is good, even though he's normal. Platt's pretty good, even though he's normal. And some of these other guys really good. We have to move some of these positions around. Hoven, I think, does stay. No, he actually goes to right tackle, doesn't he? Unless we move Cosme back. But Hoven, with the size, got to play one of the tackle spots. So let's start with the quarterback, obviously, because that's the big ticket item. Took him all the way at number 7. Thankfully, didn't need to trade up because that would have derailed the rest of our draft. Very accurate, very strong. Maybe not elite. Paranoid sense of pressure would kind of sucks, but maybe not elite throw power, like it said. It was very close. Yeah, I guess it's elite. And then Dev, superstar. Let's go. Okay. Wearing number 12. I'm going to give him a good chance to win. That is bulk, though. He is looking thick. I know he's 6'6", but still. Edmund, I guess I'll take a look at his dev as well. He's the starting tight end no matter what. We already said it because we just didn't have anyone else even close to competing for that job. Injury's a little low. Catching's great. Speed's just good enough at 6'4". Very young, so high potential. Can we get another superstar, please? Please, one more. He is only star, but that's fine. He's still good. And then we'll take a look at a couple of the other. I actually want to see that man coverage from Stanley. I guess it's still probably faster to click A than it is to go all the way over. 6'2", 21 years old, with his man coverage of A being... Oh! That's like one of the highest man coverages I've seen. Obviously, he's garbage in zone, and he can't catch like it said. Press is okay. Man is insane. That's an interesting build. Man, I really want to get rid of Logan Thomas, but, you know, he's got mentor tag. He is expensive, though. Also, that is not Logan Thomas. I also forgot we got Terrence Steele, but that's okay, because Hoven can learn while Charles Leno gets, you know, the hell out of here soon. So we're actually going to put him back at left tackle. But, yeah, I forgot about Steele. We got a nice little steal on him. Like we made that joke already, but... it was like a steal, considering. All right, so we mixed up the team a little bit, but we still have a pretty good overall. Obviously, some normal devs are still around, but some pretty high, you know, overall. I wouldn't even say overall, but they're good ratings, even if they're 78 overall, 80 overall. They've got like base 80s in most of the stats, but center solid, left guard solid, left tackle will be solid. Could use a right guard / right tackle. We'll see what happens there with their, you know, overalls by the time they need another contract. Edmund, hopefully the future at tight end. Wide receivers look great. Running back, we'll see, because yards per carry were pretty bad last year. And then Middleton, the high-ticket 7th pick overall quarterback with superstar dev, needs to be the franchise. Linebackers are vastly improved, but Wagner probably will need to be replaced. And then I don't know how much Jamin Davis is going to ask for, but if it's too much, he will need to be replaced since we do have Keenan, so we'd only need one anyways. Safeties are great. Corners are great, but I don't know about Fuller because he's getting older. And then D-line, we're locked in for at least another 2 to 3 seasons. Guys. This is a superstar quarterback. This is after 5 games played. Playbooks play 90% of the role. People that are complaining about me switching the playbooks in a rebuild have got to get with reality. The game has not been coded correctly. All right? So by not changing the playbooks, you side with the developers who are making the playbooks mean everything. Because you're like, no, it's fine, it works. I promise, it works. It doesn't work. We're not having that. I don't know what playbook to run, though. Let's try Raiders. We have a power back like them. They have one really good wide receiver, a couple of decent receivers around them, and a quarterback that's, I mean, he's okay, but he's like field general type of guy. I don't even know what that means. I'm not even sure I'm in the right headspace. But multiple power, that's what we're going to rock. I'm going to try out the Raiders. So Jamin Davis failed his camp standout, but he got a breakout and is now superstar dev. Got 54 mil left. We got to pay a couple of players. Cosme's actually on that, but he's actually not asking for a lot. He's still pretty young, so Cosme probably gets the deal. The safety gets the deal. Jahan probably gets a normal re-sign the following year, and Derek Forrest gets the deal. So we should have a lot of money. I don't know about Kendall Fuller, though. I want to see that regression, but 4-34, not bad. And then Cosme, I think, is going to be like a 4-year, I don't freaking know, is this close? 4-year 24? It's a steal for us. It's okay for him as he's set for life, I guess. But, yeah, I don't know. We'll go one more year for Kendall Fuller. Even if he sucks, he's still, no matter what, unless we go for another free agent corner, the best option we have at number 1. Even if he regresses like 4 overalls down, he's still the best option. So, I'll be honest with you. I don't know what the F is going on. And it's kind of pissing me off a little bit. I know we're in a tough division, but we're the only team not competing, despite the fact that we are a decent team. You know, we are an 85 overall squad, yet we are way underperforming that. It's not even close. Like, there's teams that are, 81, 82 that are outperforming us by a mile. Changed the offensive playbooks twice. Didn't get any results with either of them. Carter Middleton, the superstar dev quarterback, 21 interceptions, makes sense. Rushing is terrible for Brian Robinson. Receiving numbers, tight end was great, but everyone else sucked when you compared it, to the other position groups. And then sack totals were terrible despite having one of the best front fours in the league. I honestly feel like I just want to erase the first 2 seasons from my mind. Like, it actually is triggering me. I'm not going to lie. It's actually pissing me off a bit. Because it's like, where's the progress despite the fact that we've clearly got a team that is better than where it is right now? And of course, winner of MVP goes the guy that we could have had instead. I actually should have paid attention how good he was, but nice. Like, what are the Rams right now? The Rams are 12-5. Get the F out, EA. Get out. No, get out. I'm not allowing. Get out. Leave. You're trespassing. The Rams are an 81 overall. Well, let's see who wins the Super Bowl and see if we have any dev-ups. I think maybe the tight end had a chance, and then, somehow the D-line, someone would have got a dev-up for doing absolutely nothing because the whole team, across the board, was garbage. Giants are in the Super Bowl. This whole division made the playoffs except for us. We dragged the whole damn thing down, 4-13, while everyone else had 10+. And the Giants win a Super Bowl. Sweet. Yay. Fun. Offensive dev-ups, none. Not even the tight end, surprisingly, who had a pretty good season. He must have been really close. And then Bobby Wagner retired, but we had a couple of dev-ups. Jamie Davis is an X-Factor. Devin White is a superstar. And Montez Sweat is, I believe, superstar, unless he had it last season. Did he? I think it was last season because he had like 11+. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he already had it. Not a great overall, though. Not super high, but I don't know what else to tell you. The defense is, the team's good. It's just EA is being EA right now and just not giving us good sim luck. I don't know if it's just because, once again, it's another situation where they have a little coding in the game where it's, certain teams are less likely to perform no matter how good the roster is, because in real life, I don't see the Commanders doing super well, but with the players we have right now in this rebuild, we should be outperforming, 4 wins? 4 wins! The Rams at 81 overall, 12-5. Good job. Great game, flawless. Worth every penny. Oh wait, it's 50% off because they messed up. I forgot. Pretty bad when you gotta put your game on 50%. That's something. That's an interesting one. And he wonders why he's not in the Creator Network. But Jahan Dotson, the 5th-year option, that's like, we could probably get him on a 3-year 24 at this rate because he's not playing that well and his overall is still pretty low, but everyone else, replaceable. All right, free agency, we do have a little bit of money, but I don't imagine we're going to spend any of it here. Very expensive players across the board. Trying to think, maybe like a wide receiver if they were proven at best, which, Hopkins is, but he's still a bit of a low overall. I don't know. David Njoku, tight end, I think we could live with what we got. Our guy was pretty good last year. I don't see. Maybe we go low ball on Elijah Moore and see if he'd be a good slot fit for cheap. But realistically, there's not really much we even need We just need the guys we currently have to actually step up. And a running back wouldn't hurt, but there's no options. We have pick number 2 overall. The Steelers, surprisingly, with pick 1 overall. They go with a wide receiver. I would love to see how good he is, because wide receiver number 1 overall is not a very common thing. It's usually edge rusher, quarterback, tackle. One of those positions. So that must have been pretty insane, significant trade. We could use future stuff, but I'm not really pushing for it. But if that's what the best case scenario is, maybe that's what we do. The Ravens are really trying to set up our future here, I gotta admit. But do we really need a future, or is it more of right now? I gotta say, so far the Rams, because I have a cornerback that's 1-2, the Rams are in the lead here. But pick 2 overall is very valuable. That's why these offers are a bit high. They're definitely high. These are pretty good offers, but one would argue that maybe it's 3 first-round picks, and that's not exactly what we're getting here. So we get a little crazy. We trade Platt. We trade pick 2 overall. We trade a 2nd, 3rd, 4th next year, and a 5th this year for pick 6 and 8 from the Houston Texans. I have no idea what they want at number 2, but the trade has been completed, and it is a tackle, franchise tackle, apparently. And we have just made a crazy trade. Of course, we moved a lot of stuff from next year into the future, but overall, the value is definitely worth it. And the Jaguars are actually giving us a pretty good trade. We're going to get a first round next year. We're going to get down to 27 this year. And we're moving. We're making this pick count. We're making this pick another tackle. We are the tackle traders. And another very high draft pick kind of trade, trading number 8. A bunch of other stuff for the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round picks of the Colts. Don't know what they want, but pick 20 is kind of where I wanted to be for this cornerback, so I'm hoping he is there. He looks really good, but there was a lot of corners, so even though the specific one looks amazing, I'm all right with a couple of the different cornerbacks. So let's take a look at if he is there. I kind of have a feeling he will be, but I don't know. And he is Marquise I almost called him Bradley. Barkley, insane man coverage, B zone. Speed isn't great, but Excel apparently is great. Jumping's great. If he's not hitting, I would be shocked, but that is who we're going to take. And color me shocked. I don't know what color me mean, but whatever the hell I just said was. Well, that's a little bit of an L. But at the same time, he could be insanely talented. And they're like, yeah, he's got to be normal because otherwise he'll be the greatest corner of all time. Now I kind of want Bronson. But the 6'4 corner, especially since he's built the same in size and speed, I think is the guy we're going to roll with and let that other guy go. We don't have any other 1-2s, do we? We have like a 6'4 wide receiver. Couldn't really get more scouting on him, and he looks okay, but he's not great. So decent, but not great, even though we could use a true number 2 wide receiver. I'm going to pass on him as well. I think this is going to be a trade down. Call it what you want, but this is a team that is going to get its value. This is a nice little trade. 42 this and a 2nd next year. 5th the following. We got to try to recoup some of these picks. We have like no 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th next year, I believe. They go for a running back. Maybe there was one that was decent for us. Another big positional need, but I just don't do well with AI running backs. So if I'm going to take one, I usually take them low, or they got to be like guaranteed gods. This 3 years into the future business is detrimental. It is really detrimental, but we trade Percy Butler, our 2nd round pick here, a 6th and a 7th, and then a 6th in the future, 2 years in the future for their 2nd and 3rd, there being the Minnesota Vikings, which is a little bit later in the 2nd round, a little bit past middle of the round, but they end up going with the tight end. Maybe that's what they needed. I don't know. They got Hawkinson, so it's definitely interesting, and I might start taking some players. Yeah, I know the trade downs are a little egregious here, but at least the values are fair, and I don't know if we're seeing just like a bunch of busts, or should I actually make a play at one of those players, because they're still there, and we were debating them. Yet, once again, they're still there. This DT looks great, but once again, wrong scheme. So Carruthers is probably the guy I would go with. We need a lineman, I suppose, as well. Craig Gray is there. I'm going to take a shot on Craig Gray, actually. I think all these guys might be bust, but I'm going to take the shot. And he's hidden with 96 jumping, 91 speed. We might have just found our number 2 wide receiver. I had no plans on grabbing him, but we got so much value on trade downs. At this point, I'm willing to take more shots because of it. The dude's name is Racy Phillips. He just has no clothes on ever. This could be really stupid, but I kind of think I should take Bronson. Dexter Bronson, 22 years old, 6'3". Yep, very good change of direction and whatnot, but his pure speed is not great. Well, that was a decision, and it was not a good one. And we don't actually have that many draft packs. You can see our next pick goes all the way to 16 in the third. All right, I don't even know at this rate what I'm even trading, but I ended up trading, I don't even know what I traded. I traded, I think, 52 and a late third with a fifth 2 years from now for a high third, a mid third, and a mid fourth. So, yeah, I mean, at this rate, I'm just kind of going off the rails, and nobody can stop me. We actually get our original third back, it seems, which is kind of cool, I suppose. But we're going to start taking a bunch of players here. Trade downs do nothing for me anymore. I've got my fix on, and it is over. I am moving on to a different fix, which is getting high on my supply. I'm going to be using these draft picks. I don't even know if I really need a linebacker, but Devontae Moss just looks so good. A bunch of A's and B's, eliteness everywhere in speed, and I am just so bad. I am the worst. The amount of normals I'm taking in this draft, of course, they could be great. I think Barkley's going to be a very high overall, but the other guys I don't know about, and even if I did know about them, they're still normal. It's not great. Safety kind of need. Linebacker, I mean, he could be hidden, but I don't need a linebacker that bad now. Carruthers is kind of the guy I was eyeing up for a while now, although we have no linemen. Do we take this guy? I'm going to take Vince Dickens. Vince Dickens, 21 years old, 6'5", 330. Finally got on the board with a hidden, and he's super strong, which is not like the most common thing to see these days. I hope that safety's still there. He's a day 3, but you just never know. I've seen plenty of... Is that our other guard? Not that we really need a lineman that bad right now. More like future-proofing. We have one last lineman. He's a day 4, so I'd probably wait there. Carruthers looks good, but I need the safety more, I think. We don't really need safety, but I just in case I go too broke. And hidden development trait, I actually thought he was faster than that. Sometimes I'm not showing you guys these 40s and all that because, well, you'll see it after I draft him, and these rebuilds have gotten to a very long pace. Recently I did a Cowboys one that was like, might have been even an hour long, despite the fact that it was like 3 seasons or something like that. I don't even know, but some of these rebuilds have been getting a bit long, despite the fact that, there's not even that many seasons half the time. So the sim is taking a while, and me going on, blabbing on and on about stupid stuff like I am right now is also not helping. Very strong, very athletic. Trent Carruthers, giving me Donald vibes. Normal dev, so not Donald vibes at all. Oh yeah, we did land that wide receiver, the 6'4" hidden, so in fairness, no other draft picks. We're thin for the future, so I think next year, assuming there is a next year, we could win a Super Bowl. That'd be great. We're probably going to end up trading down, and O-line is still kind of the guy I actually had on the list is still there. I don't need O-line that bad. I don't really need corner either, but the immense value out of a guy that was 1 to 2 that I might have even almost taken instead of the other guys, I'm going to grab. And he's in development trait. I have made a decision, and that decision is good. Yeah, the future draft's not looking so great, so we're probably going to end up using at least one of the first-round picks to probably get, a second, 2/3, and then we move that down a little bit. Don't really need later-round draft picks, but it would be nice to fill out the roster a little bit more than we were able to. Stuck in the 4th round at best, and that's going to only get worse next season. But looking at the... Oh, yeah. Turn into the freaking Kool-Aid man. He might not be hidden, but he is the new number 2 cornerback. I think he clearly is the number 2 cornerback, especially since he can get to hidden with a good breakout. And then we'll just move everyone up one season after Fuller leaves this year. 6'4", 74 overall wide receiver. Number 89 is not the best number, but it's not the worst. Very good jumping, okay change of direction and juke ability. Has all the catching traits. Very good catching in general. Release is all right. I don't know if I mentioned that, but let's take a look at his dev. At least star, obviously, because he's hidden. And he is going to stay there. And then I'll be full-ass honest with you. The rest are all backups, so we'll see them when we see them. I actually do want to take a look at Mayer, though, because he is pretty good. He might even be a safety in the future. We don't really need any DBs. So corner, safety, all of that, we're just leaving. Rest of this rebuild, we're not even going to take a single one. Fits a little bit more as a safety, though, because of that zone coverage, but I'm going to keep him at corner for now. All right, here's the team for year 3. We do have Gray at number 2 because Jahan Dotson probably does fit a little bit more of a slot role than the 6'4" wide receiver does. Running back, Mitchell's the backup, but we really do need a new running back because Brian Robinson's not getting the job done. Tight end, solid enough. Right tackle, right guard, we'll see. Cosme got a pretty decent deal, so right tackle will probably be the one that we replace, but Dickens is already kind of ready to take that spot. And then defensively... Cornerback, we need a little bit of development there, but this is a team that is, it's pretty good. It is pretty good. It just needs to keep developing a little bit, and actually play to their strengths, play to their talent level. If we win, we're in, and honestly, if the Eagles lose, we could actually take the division, and they do not. But we're still in. However, we had to face the Eagles. Now, they only went 10-7 in this case, but the fact that they were much better than last year, yet their overall was probably very similar, it's a bit annoying. But, you know, we switch over to the Bengals offense and then the Browns defense, and, well, we're in the playoffs, so I don't know what else to tell you. It was a 1-5 season start. The season turned around with those playbook switches. The quarterback looked great. Running back looked better. Wide receiver 2, the rookie, could go to superstar. I mean, the numbers looked way better at this rate. You know, I try as much as I can to stick to the original playbook. After 2 seasons of failures, though, I move on and conform to the game itself. You know, playbooks want to play that big of a factor. I have no choice but to switch to those playbooks at times. Looking at the yearly awards, what do we got? Burrow, speaking of that Bengals playbook, our quarterback was even on the list. I almost forgot what team we were even using. I was like, what? Who is that? We got Rookie of the Year on offense, and that might be it. What about QB, though? Number 8, not great. 6 for running back. 5 for wide receiver. O-line not on the list. D-line at 8. Linebacker not on the list. DB not on the list. And then kicker not on the list. But we're in the playoffs, and that's a lot better than we could say the previous season or 2, as we were one of the highest picked teams back-to-back years. Went from pick 7 to pick 2 even, which I don't understand at all. The quarterback we got should be doing way better, and this season with the change playbooks appears to have been, well, the case. All right, going to the end of the game. Philadelphia with 7 out the gate. They get a stop. They get another 7. We're turning around. We get 7 ourselves. It was a very strugglesome 7, I will admit. They drive down. They get nothing. We drive down. We get 3. We start the second half with a touchdown, up by 3, down by 4, still down by 4. And with that touchdown drive, looks like we are going to be losing. But there is a sliver of a chance. All 3 timeouts still. Clock is dripping, though. Man, the AI sucks when there's no clock. I mean, they are literally just terrible. They're like unusably like bad. You just can't even let them work on their own. Wide receiver maybe, Terry McLaurin. And he's going to get hit as he's throwing. Do we even want this? We do, when Terry McLaurin can get under it. How is that not a roughing? He power slammed us at the end of it. Referee, wake up. This guy's freaking sleeping. And that is a really good time ball. Somehow, they got to be looking at the ball to be able to make a play on it. Yeah, he knew the ball was there when he was trailing someone. Surely, right? Surely. So he looks back at the ball despite the fact that he is beat. What are you looking at the ball for? You're not going to be able to do anything on the ball. If you see the ball, unless it's garbage, it's going to be too late anyways. I mean, we got to take that. Wow. And then everyone just jumps up and picks everything. Kill him. Nah, it's not going to happen. That is going to be it for our playoff run. Not much of one. More like a playoff crawl. And man, Ben Roethlisberger is looking good. It will be a year 4 trip. Sadly. But at least we made the playoffs, like I said, 10-7. Not great, considering the team is pretty good. Only pick thrown was by us, but obviously wasn't really aggressive enough or just wasn't successful enough to do anything without us anyways, or with us, so it be what it be. They are a stacked team in fairness, but we did technically have a higher overall. So while Brian Robinson was a little bit better in this season, might still be the focal point of this team in the offseason is getting that running back position sorted, because I don't know, I think we need someone more dynamic. He is just not really, I mean, he can't even get to 4 yards per carry, dude. Like, what do we do with a running back that can't even get to 4? There's a dime a dozen of them, you know, that can just run the ball for 4 yards per carry on like a nonchalant day, you know. Eagles going against the Chiefs again, so we face it off against the team that went to the Super Bowl and maybe even wins it in the very first week. They did not, but still, where did that money come from? Hello? I know I did see the contract, and there are a lot. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. I forgot contracts, didn't I? Well, it is what it is. Gray got to superstar, which is nice. And then defensively, Sweat is now a superstar X Factor. Payne's still star, which is Payne. And then Barkley doesn't go up in dev. Fuller's still decent, but I think Barkley at 1, Forbes at 2 is the move. If we can even afford any of the players that are on this list, because like I said, we forgot re-signings. It's not just me, it's you as well. You watching did not remind me. That is not just my fault. We are in this together, of course. Terry McLaurin is one of those guys. He's him. He's 30 years old, is a thing of the past when it comes to like a dying player, at least at wide receiver. So a 4-year 92 is up there, but it's definitely still worth it for us. Jamin Davis, please take the contract, dude. Please. Nice, 4-year 54. It's not even like, a position that's hard to draft, but I just don't want to lose him. Same with Montez Sweat. Jonathan Allen should take a 2-year 44. Maybe could have done a 3-year, but it is what it is. He looks so excited to be here. Manuel Forbes, that's an option we're going to let go. Jahan Dotson, once again, I think this is a fair price, and he would like to play for a new team. I would not blame him. I do not want to lose him there, but it is what it is. Brian Robinson, he really hasn't played well. I'd do a 2-year 12. 2-year 12, he doesn't take it. See you later, man. Bye. Anyone else? Sam Howell. Turn Steele, I suppose, but we could probably do better anyways, or at least cheaper down the line. 2-year 26 isn't that cheap for a guy that's not, like, irreplaceable. And Montez Sweat, I'm seeing him as, like, a 2-year 40 because that tag's going to be that much anyways. 2-year 40, glad to re-sign. He's been our best pass rusher, so why not? We're in a good spot. I know we're losing Jahan Dotson here. 41 mil tag can honestly go F itself. We can get him back for like a 3 or 30 if we have to. But 99 mil to spend. This might be the offseason where we just kind of spend a little bit too much money, but put ourselves in the playoff win column. Debo's there. Garrett Wilson's there. I don't expect him to be a free agent. Greg Newsom's great, but we don't really need him. Running back is not there. Do we trade for one? Because running backs, you need a proven guy, it seems, for them to perform in sim. Jahan Dotson is interested in re-signing. I mean, he's only a third wide receiver because we have our number 2 set, but I'm still willing to give him a 3-year 27. And if that's the highest offer, I am down. And it is by a significant amount. Running back, Brian Robinson's there. I'm going to see if I can trade for someone, though, as I need someone proven, I think. I don't know if we're actually, like, win now, but we definitely have the capability to, so I think we should explore a running back trade, see if we can do something. So do you think the Colts don't take 2 first-round picks for Jonathan Taylor, when right now their probable best pick offer has been like a second-round pick? Do we really think that they wouldn't take 2 first-round picks for Jonathan Taylor? This is really dumb. Running backs are not being traded for this much. I might have to lower it. I really don't want to, but pick 20 and 30 isn't going to go from... I get he's a 99 overall, right? But we're talking about realism. It's running back. Why is the value of running back so damn high? We're going to put it on easy and see what it does. I think in this case, a first and a third from a team that has a chance at missing the playoffs would be fair, but at the same time, most teams are not going to be trading for Jonathan Taylor if they are capable of missing the playoffs or in their mind of capable, because why would you be trading for a running back in general, especially if you don't feel like you're close? 3 years left before not even 3, probably 2 years left before he really regresses in game, and even in real life, not that far off. So, yeah, this should be a trade that just goes through. Pick 20 and 63, they take that every day of the week. Not even a question about it. I'm willing to take this. Easy is going to be on for the rest of this rebuild, I think. 2 seconds, a first. And even a 5th won't work. I'll probably have to give him the 3rd as well. Like, this is very high. And once again, in game, this actually is a very good trade for us because Jonathan Taylor is going to go to work for us. But there it is. Jonathan Taylor is a Washington Commander. And hell, they even have a backup that's not that bad. And of course, they didn't even pay him. So we have to pay him. They clearly don't believe in him. They did not pay him yet. And Jahan Dotson is back, realizing that free agency is not as kind as you would think. I know he probably wants that starting job, but a 3-year 27 to be the number 3 and avoid CTE is not terrible. All right, so Jonathan Taylor is definitely a guy that has yoinked all of our future. So we're going to have to trade as much as we can for like probably a late 2nd and 3rd, perhaps. That's my guess, but I'm not really sure if that's what we're going to get. Like, what is this? I'm getting 6 picks back for a 6th-round pick. I need to get crazy with it. Something like this. Oh, the Jets are just going to do the legwork for me, huh? They're going to do the Lamar Jackson legwork for me. The fact that I actually scouted first-round players, like I was actually going to draft someone in the first round. I wish. All right, moving back slightly to gain a 5th and a 7th, trying to get that depth back, which we did. We turned pick 30 into like 6 picks this year, I believe. They're not the most significantly great picks, but they are definitely better than having only 1 draft pick in the entire draft. We're Ramseying this thing in reverse. And it might be time to actually draft someone. I don't like the trades, and I do not want to deal with how slow the game is at switching things around, so we are going to probably take someone here. Man, it is really hard not to take this tight end. You know, I'm going to take him. Why not? We have a plethora of players. Hidden development trade, jumping and change direction sucks, but 6'6", 21 years old with that speed and excel is a freak of nature. But a little bit of a debatable pick. We're going to go on to 22. I had a bunch of linemen. I don't know if any of them are going to be here at 22, but I am going to hope there are, because I just cannot trade up. We just cannot afford it. Tight end might have been a really bad decision considering we already have an okay one, but he just looked good. The DTs are still there. None of our running backs are, sadly. We do have a linebacker, which wouldn't hurt, but I don't think we need a linebacker just yet. But Felix Baldwin does look very, very good, but we have a couple of day threes that I might wait for at 22. DT is not a big need just yet. Edge rusher kind of is. Sweat could be gone soon. It's a 2-year deal as an X factor. Although at 22 years old, starting as a 24-year-old, low overall, normal dev, if that's what he is. Yeah, I'm going to take Otis Mills. I don't even need DT, but I think he has higher upside, and he's younger. I'm wrong. Probably lied on his ID as well. Probably old as hell. And the linebackers are still there. We do have a running back as well, UDFA. If I can get him in like the 5th, I probably will. Do we take Justin Dean? Pursuit sucks. Don't know what his zone coverage is, but he looks decent enough. I'm going to take Justin Dean, I think. 6 foot tall, 230, just fast enough. Let's go for him. And hidden development trait. Not bad. Don't really need him just yet, but that is great depth. Definitely a little bit of L that we didn't get a lineman, but, it is what it is. None of the linemen looked like can't-miss players, I suppose. And here, I would like to take a running back. I think, outside of not getting a lineman, considering the draft pick we started with, considering what we needed, I don't hate it. I'm going to take the UDFA, Mr. Randall Richardson, who is 6'1", 225, and got some power. Normal development trade, but 91 speed, 91 excel at that frame is not bad. We got ourselves a new Brian Robinson, it seems. And then the 7th round, maybe just a best available pick if there's somebody crazy here. Actually landed a pretty strong fullback in the 7th round. He's like 84 strength, and then some random 91 speed, 23-year-old wide receiver. They're okay. The running back's actually a 76. The tight end is a 76. The DT was an L, and the middle linebacker's not bad. Curious to see Baz Knight. I think the guy that we have starting, though, is probably the starter, though, long term. The athleticism's through the roof. He has all the catching traits as well. It would be very hard not to start up if I was usering the team. But as far as a rebuild goes, our other guy kind of has a little bit of momentum on him because he's been here a little longer. Although, it might not take long with that superstar. It could be the starter next season. You can never have enough playmakers, and we added another one to the list. And with Jonathan Taylor here, this could be the season. If this season isn't at least minimum playoff worthy, I mean, what's even the point of doing a rebuild, honestly? Like, EA just handicaps you so hard. All right, here we are for Season 4. One more season left, unless we win the Super Bowl here. The new Jonathan Taylor has joined. Well, he's not really new, but he's new to us. 99 overall. The Colts don't want to pay him. We'll pay him. Don't you worry about that. Linebackers, they're decent. Keenan's still the starter, even though Dean might steal the job at some point. DBs, especially safety, are pretty good. And then D-line, pretty good, yet it hasn't really played that well. All right, 112 mil. This time I actually remember the re-signings. Chase Young has been so mid, but we're probably going to pay him, probably pay Forbes. Stromberg probably gets paid. Deron Payne probably gets let go. Jartavius Martin never really had a chance. Safety has just been really easy for us to get and keep, and then the quarterback will get a 5th-year option. So we have actually a ton of money still left over. And we're going to make the signings we just said we were going to. Might be a repeat of last season. The Eagles, was it the Eagles? Somebody, the Cowboys actually did really well. But 14-3 for the Cowboys. We're just going to end up playing them. I seen Bijan. I was like, no shot. Kept the scheme the same. And man, the difference is pretty massive. The Madden difference would make it where real life you deserve to be paid, right? In game, he was massive for us. 600 more yards, more touchdowns, and I would only imagine a lot, and I mean a lot, more yards per carry. Middleton, better than last season as well. The supplement of a running back helps. 5.4 yards per carry, 14 touchdowns. The backup running back was actually pretty good, too. McLaurin was great. Gray was great. Tight end was okay. Jahan was okay. Taylor was great. Over 2,000 total in the season. Sack totals were, okay for Madden terms. Sacks, Jonathan Allen finally cooked up. Sweat was decent. Deron Payne, he's been exceeding sack limits, expectations this whole rebuild. And on the flip side of it, Chase Young has been absolutely garbage this whole rebuild. 6 sacks. Like, look at this, dude. 3-6, 4-6. That is... I mean, pressures are what matters, but in the terms of Madden, where pressures don't exist, bust. That's all we can say, bust. As far as award wins go, surprisingly not on the list for MVP. Number 3 for Offensive Player of the Year with Taylor. Number 6 and 9 for Defensive Player of the Year for our guys. Rookie of the Year offense, number 3. Rookie of the Year defense, not on the list. Best QB at 6. Best running back at 2. Best wide receiver at 4. Best O-line on the list. Best D-line at 4 and 10. Best linebacker at 6. Best DB at 7. And best kicker at 7. So some pretty decent numbers. And, of course, even the offensive yard rank is all the way up at number 5. Jonathan Taylor is turning this franchise around here a little bit. Although we are facing off against a very, very high win-loss total team in the Carolina Panthers, where Bryce Young is now an X factor. 4 overalls higher than them, though, so we would expect to win, but it is Madden. All right, going to the end of the game. Washington scoring 3. Still 3. It's 7. 10. 17-0. Still 17-0. 17-0 still. 17-7. 24-7. That's going to be a GG. 27-7. 41-7. 41-14 for the finale of that one. The Carolina Panthers, pretty good playbook again, which proves, because they're a lower overall team, kind of, yet they were 14-3, kind of proving that. But Middleton really showing up. Man, Jonathan Taylor, you got to assume he's the big reason for this. This is a big jump up for him, especially in that game. Picks, Derek Forrest with a pick, and special teams is perfect. It is now time to go to the divisional round, where we may face off against the Cowboys, as we are a wild card team, even though we just smoked on a team and we had 11 wins. I guess I'll use some upgrades here. Hopefully they haven't been like, yeah, we can live with possession. Possession, vertical threat, they're both pretty good. It doesn't really matter too much. Vertical threat is still probably my favorite, but I don't think it really matters either way, to be honest. And then, of course, the AI only upgrades either way. They do not balance anyone, but it would take too long, especially with how laggy the menus are for me to manually upgrade. So if some other rebuilder does that, holy crap, they deserve all the success in the world. And as expected, the Dallas Cowboys, with their bye week, are awaiting us to meet our demise to another division rival in the playoffs, even though we're a higher overall than them. Don't know if the Raiders got a quarterback or not, or a new one, but they actually did just make the championship round. 10-7, not a bad start. We're competing. We're doing all right. Looking pretty good like last game, 27-7. Holy crap! Someone's putting Dallas in their place, and it's those damn commies. 37-20. I mean, we're a little bit of a choke if we're going to be honest, but 37-27 against the Cowboys. I'll show you guys we didn't like restart a billion times, some just to make some sort of agenda up. But Middleton, once again, kind of proving why the passer rating, stat isn't the most perfect thing in the world, right? 57% completion percentage on 2 touchdowns and 180 yards is absolutely not better than what Dak did. I know those 2 interceptions suck, but absolutely not better, especially with the lower yards average. Taylor killed it, dude. Oh, my Lord. Ed Manning with the 3 touchdowns on top of it. Really good game. Look at Cameron Curl. I was like, you know what? Were we dumb signing Cameron Curl? Re-signing him? No, we were not, ladies and gentlemen. He just clutched it, picking off Dak twice. Where's Trey Lance? Even though he did still technically play better in my book. And I would love to see how Forbes being upgraded. Probably all in one stat. EA's favorite thing to do instead of like even 3 to the main archetype, 1 on the off. I mean, that seems pretty simple to me, but I don't code video games. But at the end of the day, it is kind of all of our faults. Anyone that buys the game, it really is. But here we are going to the championship round. I'm going to wait until we get done with this to check, to show you guys. But the Packers, don't know how to feel about that. The Packers being here kind of means something. It's like, really? The Packers? Well, what's going on? Is some fishy happening here? As you can see, where the hell even are we? Won that one, and then we beat Dallas. The Rams barely losing to the Packers. I can't say much about that because we actually lost 10-12 versus them. So Rams defense is still very legit, it seems. But here we are in the championship round. Little dry in this room. Little dry in the trophy cabinet as of late. Let's get a win here. Get to the Super Bowl maybe. And here we are headed to the end of the game. off to a really good start by 7 points. We get the stop. Offense drives, gets nothing. We get another stop. Offense drives, gets nothing. They get 7. Oh, this is looking like a little bit of a different game compared to the other one. Second half, we're only up 3. Huge drive for 3. Come on, get a touchdown. Nice. Up 14. Packers are down by 7. Offense just got to do it, and they do. We're going to the Super Bowl. I didn't even see who it was against unless we played. No, it was a nighttime game. Middleton, that first game was amazing. The last two, the last one wasn't terrible, but this one, I mean, he really did damn next to nothing. But hey, we're still in the Super Bowl regardless, so whatever happens, happens. D-line, very close battle, but they did win the battle a little bit more than we did. Interceptions, nothing. Kicking, perfect. Fairburn has been a great addition. And the defense, look at that, forcing 300 punt yards from Wisnowski. And if this is an odd team, I'm going to have to take a look. You know, I got to do my research. Ricky Stromberg, watch, he's like finesse. Yep. That's fun. Especially for a guard. That is fun. Ricky Stromberg with a nice little upgrade. Let's move it on. Let's move it on indeed. All right, the Super Bowl. Seeing the Raiders in, in the championship round, could be them. It is. Oh, why couldn't have been them? I mean, I don't know if there's really a point to see. Oh, how did the Chiefs get here? How did they do that? They don't ever win games. They did beat the Raiders by 6. Chiefs smoked the Dolphins. I don't like this. They didn't get the bye week, which is, a little odd for them. But let's take a look at the dev-ups before we head on in. And see if we can't win ourselves a Super Bowl. We're, very close to them in overall. Similar teams here. Offensively, no dev-up for the quarterback or the wide receiver. A little, thought maybe he would have gone up, the wide receiver at least. And then defensively, Barkley's still a damn normal dev player, and it's so annoying. But regardless, let's see if this defense, which is pretty damn good, can slow down Mahomes and the Chiefs and maybe, just maybe, win us a Season 4 Super Bowl right here. It's raining in the Super Bowl! That's not very common. I suppose this is Florida, it seems. Everyone stay safe there. It seems like it's hitting the damn stadium here. Little cruel of EA to have that happen here. Like, come on, read the room, would you? Says the guy, like, I'm not really joking about it, but referencing it. 17-6, 24-6. This is what we're talking about. That was a really big touchdown for them, though. Oh, my God. The Chiefs do not joke around in this game, though. They really don't. I mean, this is GG. We're actually going to lose with a massive lead that we had. We had a massive lead, and we just choked it because the Chiefs are the greatest team of Madden history. We just need to stop. Oh, my God. I honestly feel more comfortable letting the AI do it. I kid you not. I swear we would have not made that stop. Did we just run the ball? They're gonna run out of room here. The time is gonna go away. I gotta come in. The rain is crazy. This is a freaking game. This is a game. Terry McLaurin. Oh, he catches it. Oh, he's slipping. Run, Terry, run. Holy crap, touchdown, Terry McLaurin. That was very Ray Rice-like on 4th and 27. Maybe not as, do or die, but a do or die situation. This is on all Madden. I promise. I mean, you guys seen the play we had where we got locked up and threw the pick to, I think it was Bradbury. I'm actually shocked this went, especially with the PI. Unbelievable slip off. And then every single play right about here is when I was like, I think he's going to get us. I think McDuffie's got us. I might go out of bounds. Ref almost pulled a Mike Tomlin on me. Dive, no dive. But a lead. But it's the Chiefs. 30 seconds is an amazing amount of time. I don't even know what the hell I was going to say there, but I said it. Edmonds could be my look. Taylor wearing that number is disastrous. Diving catch, landing on the ball, and scoring. I wish I would have... Oh, I don't know why I thought that was a punt. Watch. Just watch. Just watch the Chiefs do it, dude. All right, 4th and 4 from the 12. Is this a Hail Mary? Yo, look at the clock situation. Realize what we're doing. Although I will say I'm an idiot anyways. Okay, where the hell is 3-man deep? Do you have to manage through Where the hell? I mean, you can find it in there, but I could have sworn it was easier to find than that. I haven't been in a situation where we're in a lead like this where I get to run 3-man deep. Usually we're blitzing. And that's a really smart play from Mahomes, especially when our guys are literal morons. I mean, with that kind of effort from our defense, I don't even know if I can run 3-man deep. I mean, I think you run regular man and you just drop the safeties back. 3-man deep, I think, is a little excessive at this point. They might actually get into range. And Mahomes going to do some Mahomes magic. He's going to do it. He did it, but he ran out of time. We win the Super Bowl, 45-42. Unbelievable game from Mahomes, making Brady versus the Eagles look like a walk in the park. Almost 500 passing yards with 5 touchdowns, and he loses the Super Bowl. It's a rainy one, which is great. A couple of times in history there's been rainy ones. Oh my God, was that lightning? What the hell is going on here? Let's get off the field quickly before we all get electrocuted. Mahomes denied of another Super Bowl. It's Middleton time, baby. An unorthodox-looking quarterback winning an unorthodox Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs, who are insane. And it all started with the trade for one Jonathan Taylor, the 99 overall man that apparently the Colts don't want, and we love to see. I would love to see Jonathan Taylor go up there and just absolutely crap on the Colts front office if this were to actually happen. But who knows what situation that's going to be like in real life. Not really my job here, though, and even though McLaurin, made a crazy play, we still probably would have had a great chance to win anyways. Maybe even, greatest quarterback Super Bowl of all time between the two? But, yeah, I mean, it definitely helps to get there quicker. Taylor did not play well here, but this reminded me of the 85 Bears. Doing everything you can to stop Walter Payton. Maybe not quite that level, but winning the game because everyone's focused on the running back who's been doing great things. Rashee Rice is simmed. He's done really well in sim. Speaking of, Jonathan Taylor, though, in the receiving game was great, in fairness, and McLaurin was amazing. Sack totals, I don't know how the hell that guy's the one. There's like no named guys getting sacks in this game, apparently. Kicking perfect. Fairburn has been the GOAT, dude. He has been the GOAT. And we win the Super Bowl. All right, let us take a look at our team. 4 seasons in, which is, a significant amount of time. We'll take a look at the ratings of our players. Now, Jonathan Taylor isn't someone that we technically developed ourselves, but it is interesting to see how good he is because he is one of the best running backs in the entire game. So fast, so trucky, good stiff arm, solid juke move. Spin move's not great, but obviously if you're using him, you can upgrade him however you want. Goal line back, interesting. Is that a new ability? I've not seen that one. What else? We got Terry McLaurin, 96 overall. Didn't get to 99, or maybe he regressed because now he's 30 in fairness. Looking insane. Catching's great. Release is amazing. I would love to see what his release is compared to the rest of the league. He's got to be top 5. Great route running, great catching in general. Fast enough, obviously, and apparently able to break some mad tackles. Gray has developed quickly as a superstar, and his overall is not bad either. Short route is through the freaking roof. Mike Williams, basically. What else can I say? Not as great a spec catch, but very Mike Williams build. Edmund probably would get replaced by Baz Knight because he came out the gate swinging and then just kind of fell off, even though he's really good at catching and route running. But I think Baz Knight has the higher ceiling and just a better future. O-line, they're all pretty average, so there's nothing to look at there. Middleton, though, the 87 overall, who was only 24 by maybe 25. Short route sucks. Medium's amazing. Deep is solid, and his throw power is really good. Throwing to pressure is decent. He's a really good quarterback, and had a pretty good regular season. Last couple of playoff games weren't great, but the first and the Super Bowl were really good, so middle of the not great, middle of the pack of the playoffs, if you will. Jamin Davis got to a 90, which I am really shocked by. Let's take a look at how good he is. Probably going to be lacking in the block shed, and he is. 82 zone coverage. Really athletic, though. Just an absolute freak. Guy that I target a lot in fantasy drafts. But, of course, he is starting to get up there a little bit for Madden. I think he's 24 now. Devin White really never developed, but he's got himself another Super Bowl ring, so as far as it goes for him, things have gone well. Coverage sucks. Block shedding's not great. I wouldn't say it sucks, but they're both really not great considering we usually at least get one of the ratings really high, but this case, neither. Keenan, I believe, is really good at block shedding, if I'm not mistaken. 84. See, that's what you want to see. At least one of the ratings really good. If if you've got low and something. And then looking at some of the other players like Barkley, obviously got to look at the D-line and those safeties. But Barkley, the 6'4" corner, who's really good at man, okay in zone, and decently athletic, didn't get that dev up. I'm really shocked. Really shocked he didn't get a dev up, but still really good. Emmanuel Forbes, super fast. We already seen him recently, but let's take another look anyways. 88 man, 77 zone. Very good catching. He is very solid. Then we have the safeties, who I'm actually questioning their their zone coverage. 87 for the free safety, Derek Forrest. 80 zone coverage. Just not developing in that category. Probably a run support guy more for his archetype. I almost said barketype, whatever the hell that means. And then 90 overall for Cameron Curl, who had 2 interceptions in the championship game. Also, pretty low in zone coverage, but still very good players and definitely good enough to win a Super Bowl with. And then the front four. Jonathan Taylor's probably not worth looking at, but even though Chase Young sucked, I guess we'll take a look at his ratings. I don't understand how he wasn't better, though. 83 block shed, 92 finesse, super fast. X factor. I was expecting 8 minimum per season. He didn't get to 8 once, I don't believe. Montez Sweat, though, a little more consistent. Actually a better player than him, it seems. And worse overall, though. 81 block shed, 87 finesse. Very athletic, obviously. A little surprised he didn't get higher. Usually get 1 or 2 speed here and there. And then I guess that's it, actually, because the other DTs are actually lower than they would have started, I would imagine. So that's going to be it for our realistic style rebuild of the Washington Commanders. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Maybe subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, really appreciate your continued support on the channel. Things have been a little up and down on the channel, so let me know if I can do anything better, and I can try. Like I said, maybe let me know what rebuild team you want to see next, and what would you name the Commanders team? I said that in the beginning of the video, and I remembered it. Also, maybe follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel PKR Plays for non-Madden content. That's about it. Thanks for watching. Other guys come back for next video, which there should be at least 1 or 2 tomorrow. And until next video, see ya!